In April 2019, a YouTuber named Jason shared a video on his channel, Abbey Mountain Trekkers, documenting his solo overnight trip to the mountains. Jason's channel focuses on outdoor activities, featuring his adventures in hiking, camping, and wilderness survival. In this particular video, his ascent to the mountain is relatively uneventful. Upon reaching the campsite, he sets up his tent and demonstrates how he builds a fire as the sun sets. While waiting for nightfall, Jason tries his hand at spoon carving. During this time, he hears a peculiar sound from one of the mountain peaks, but dismisses it as a bird or small animal and continues his preparations. Around 9 o'clock, he turns off his camera to sleep. However, less than an hour later, he wakes to an unusual sound he describes as a deep, guttural animal call. The noise coming from a distance was unlike anything he'd ever heard, making it impossible to identify. Still unsettled after the abrupt awakening, he tries to fall back asleep. However, just a few hours later, around 1 a.m., he wakes up again, this time hearing what he describes as the sound of something or someone moving in circles around his tent.
Hear that? Whatever it is, it sounded like there was 2 or 3 of them, and it started on the other side of my camp, went around my perimeter.
If you look closely at the bottom left corner of the screen, you can spot the reflection of what seems to be 1 or 2 pairs of eyes as Jason's flashlight passes over them. While many animals have eyes that reflect light at night, the fiery white color of the reflection strongly suggests that wolves or coyotes may have been observing him. Although dogs' eyes can also reflect white, it's unlikely that a dog would be roaming the mountains near his campsite at 1 a.m. Coyote and wolf attacks on humans are rare since both species typically avoid contact with people. However, they can become highly aggressive if they feel threatened, especially if they are protecting their young. If that had been the case, Jason could have been in serious danger. Chillingly, Jason doesn't appear to notice the eyes watching him as he scans the area with his flashlight. Fortunately, he returned to his tent and slept safely through the night. The following morning, he recorded an update for his viewers, but made no mention of the eyes his camera had captured, suggesting he was unaware of them. After this video, no further updates regarding the incident were shared. At the foot of Mount Fuji in Japan lies a forest known to locals as the Sea of Trees. Interestingly, the entire forest has grown over a 30 square kilometer stretch of hardened lava, deposited during Mount Fuji's last major eruption. However, more disturbingly, over the years, the Sea of Trees has become infamous as a place where people go to end their lives. Venturing deep enough into the forest, it is not uncommon to come across a body. Near the entrance, a sign in Japanese reads, "Think about your parents, siblings, and children. Please do not suffer alone. Seek help first." In July 2017, urban explorer and YouTuber Burbex ventured into the forest to document what he might find, guiding his viewers through his journey into the Sea of Trees. While the video starts off seemingly uneventful, just a few minutes into his exploration, he stumbles upon an abandoned bicycle, marking the point where things start to take a darker turn.
Let's take a look at it. I don't think it's been here a long time. What do we got in here? And there's a packet for a knife. A note in a bag. It says 1211. I can't quite make out. I think this is somebody's name just here, and I'm not sure what this means.
On the bicycle, Burbex finds an empty packaging for a kitchen knife, and shortly after he comes across a note written on a plastic bag. The note translates to 1211, verified by Fuji Yoshida Police Station, suggesting it is likely linked to someone who abandoned their belongings to take their life in the forest, confirmed by the local police station. It is deeply haunting to think about how many lives have been lost in the forest over the years, and even more unsettling to imagine how easily a casual explorer could come across a body while traversing the terrain. Over time, the Japanese government has introduced several measures to address the issue, such as installing security cameras near the entrance to monitor those entering the forest and training volunteers to talk to visitors who might be considering taking their own lives. However, these efforts have not entirely stopped people from going through with it, and the media's role in sensationalizing the forest in recent years has certainly not helped the situation. In February 2018, a man named Greg Harris uploaded a video filmed with his GoPro while riding his ATV on an unidentified trail. In the first few seconds, the footage shows exactly what you'd expect from this type of video. But in an instant, something extremely disturbing abruptly interrupts Greg's ATV ride. If you didn't notice, someone had stretched a metal wire between two trees, which got caught on Greg's helmet and forced him to stop. It's unsettling to think that if Greg hadn't been so lucky, the wire could have decapitated him. Fortunately, as explained in the video description, his speed and the fact that the wire struck his helmet instead of his neck caused it to break as he passed through. It's shocking to imagine that someone could do something so malicious as setting up a lethal trap along an ATV trail. However, sadly, incidents like this are quite common in the dirt biking and ATV community. Sometimes these traps are set by people trying to keep riders off their property. Other times, by individuals annoyed by the noise who decide to react with violence. And then there are those who do it simply to cause harm for no reason, driven by serious mental disturbances. In this case, it's impossible to identify who was responsible. This is one of those videos that make you reflect on how easily such an accident could have been fatal if the wire had been positioned just slightly lower. Thankfully, Greg walked away with minor injuries and used the video to warn others to be cautious of such traps, especially when riding through wooded trails.